Welcome back, Maroni-mites, and hello to my new friends. This is Maroni Makes. Today, I thought it would be fun to try something new. So the base recipe that I will be using is for vegan lemon poppy seed donuts, but I'm adjusting this recipe by making them into donut holes. They're also baked, so I'm doing it in mini muffin tins. And then I thought I would get a little bit creative and colorful and try to make them look like Kirby. For those of you who don't know who Kirby is, here are some pictures that I'll put on the screen. For Kirby, who I think is adorable. This will either turn out looking super cute or it'll be a hot mess depending on how I can make Kirby appear on these little mini donuts. Let's get started right away with the dough. To get started with our dough, we'll be starting of course off with our dry ingredients. Here in this large bowl, I have 2 cups of all-purpose flour. To it, I will be adding in half a cup of granulated sugar, 2 tablespoons of poppy seeds, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of baking soda, and 2 teaspoons of baking powder. Lastly, I'll be adding in the zest of 2 lemons. You guys did miss out on the preparation part, which was I don't have a zester, so I actually took a peeler, peeled each lemon, sliced it into very thin strips, and then chopped it up, so it's a little bit chunkier than you'd probably get with a normal zester, but fingers crossed it'll still taste good. Now I'm just gonna take a whisk and mix it all nicely together. I'll set this aside and let's get started on the wet ingredients. For my wet ingredients, I'm starting off with 1 1/3 cups of almond milk. To that, I will be adding in 1/4 cup of coconut oil that I've melted down. Oh, it looks so weird. 2 tablespoons of fresh lemon juice. And then lastly, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Alien! You can't see it at all. I'm gonna whisk this together now so it's nicely combined. Before I mix the wet ingredients into the dry, I'm going to preheat my oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit. Using a spatula, I'll be adding the wet ingredients to the dry ingredients and gently mixing it so it is just combined so that I don't overmix it and end up with a tough donut. Oh my gosh, the coconut oil solidified on top. It has like a little skin. I don't know, should I whisk it again? Oh God, it's gonna be chunky. This looks terrible. Oh no. Oh no. A mess already. Maybe the almond milk should have been heated. We'll just do our best to mix it in and hopefully there aren't chunks of coconut oil in these donuts. Ooh, this is really a mess. Things are not looking good so far. Mix this together. My confidence just plummeted with that. Thick and lumpy. I think that's pretty mixed. As I mentioned earlier, this recipe is for normal shaped donuts. However, I didn't want to purchase another piece of kitchen equipment that would be very limited to just making donuts. So what I'll be using is these little mini muffin tins, which when I was doing research on this bake, I found out that you can use these to make baked mini donut holes. I'm sweating. It's like a little model. I just took a paper towel and dipped it in some coconut oil and then just kind of ran that around through each of the wells in these dishes. I realized though after doing so, I'm not sure if the burning point of the coconut oil will be too low and it might get crispy on the bottom, but I guess we'll find out together. So I'm just taking a regular spoon. I don't think they should rise too much. Maybe like 1 centimeter from the top to be filled. And I'll also probably have to adjust the cooking time. I'll probably start with 10 minutes, but I'll keep a close eye on it so that they don't burn. This first batch is going to go in now. I'm going to try for 5 minutes instead, or 7 minutes, check on them, and then I'll just go through that whole baking process and see you once I've made all of them, and hopefully none of them are burnt. Okay, see you later. Okay, so this next part is from a 20-minute clip during which neither myself nor Edwin realized that the microphone was off, so I apologize in advance for how much of this next part is going to be voiced over. But here I am showing off the little donuts after they came out of the oven. As you can see, I was showing that some of them have little liners on them because the coconut oil definitely failed in terms of keeping the batter from sticking to the pan. But now let's get started with the icing. To start the icing, I have 1 cup of powdered sugar. To it, I am adding 1 teaspoon of lemon juice as well as half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Then the recipe does call for 1 to 2 tablespoons of almond milk depending on the consistency desired. I wanted a thicker icing so it would stick to the donuts, so I'm starting off with 1.5 tablespoons of milk. Lastly, I am adding in half a teaspoon of homemade lemon zest. Give all of these ingredients a nice mix. After mixing, I need to divide out the icing into separate bowls so I can dye them different colors needed to make Kirby's face. I'll be using red, blue, and yellow dye to make pink, blue, and black. I will also be keeping a portion of the icing this neutral color that I wish were white but is a bit more cream colored. I took about 2 teaspoons of icing out for each of the colors needed and separated them into 3 bowls. The consistency looks quite thin, especially since I want to use this to make details, so Edwin brought me some more powdered sugar to thicken up the icing. I'm using 3 different chopsticks that will hopefully allow me to put in the fine detail I'm planning on. Also, rest in peace, I realized you can't see me adding any of this in, so I've made my blue, and now for the black. I'm no master of color theory, but a quick Google search showed that if I mix the 3 primary colors in equal parts, I should get black, but as you can see, it becomes more of a brown color, so I added an additional drop of each color, but it just turned a darker brown. It will serve its purpose though and provide enough contrast for Kirby's eyes. I left a majority of the icing to be colored pink as that is the primary color needed. Just adding in 1 drop of red and mixing, I also plan to add a little bit more red afterwards to create a darker shade that could be used as blushing cheeks. Here comes the time to coat the little donuts with the pink icing. First round, it was very difficult to hold the donuts because they were falling apart after sticking in the pans. Then I realized after setting the donut down, the icing is way too thin and slides right off. So, adding more powdered sugar. This consistency was much better, so I started to do the rest of the donuts using this thickness of icing until the camera cuts off and I don't realize it. Okay, so camera stopped recording, mic probably wasn't on, ran out of frosting or icing, so trying to make more now. I'm simplifying the recipe that was given, just doing lemon juice with powdered sugar and red food dye. Here's the reserve icing that I made. It is a little bit darker in color since there was already some pink left over from the first round, but hopefully this will be enough to cover the rest of them. And then again, it's already darker, so I can actually use this for the blushing as well as the smile on Kirby. To start decorating Kirby, this is the photo that I'll be using for reference. Actually, I can just put it on the screen as well. So we're gonna give our best attempt to recreate that face on each of these, which sounds like a nightmare at this point, but I've already committed, I've already started. Let's try to get at least one cute one out. Let's start with one of these ugly ones for test run. I think I'll start with black. Oh, these are already gonna be so ugly. I already know. That's what we're starting with. Kirby's eyes are running. Honestly, not horrendous. The left eye is for sure running a little bit more than I would like it to, but the general colors are there. So if I can just thicken these up, hopefully the shape will hold. Let's try round 2. I don't know if anyone would be able to tell that it's Kirby. We'll keep trying. You want to try one? Essentially what I do is I make like a little brown line, and then I do a drop of blue at the bottom and then a drop of white at the top. That's not bad.
No, yeah, their eyes are just drifting.
Gravity's pulling them to the side. I'm saving these ones for last because these are the best chance of looking good, I think. Oh my god, look at yours.
Yeah, I know, that's what I'm saying.
As you all know, this was the expectation. Now, this is reality. Wait. I don't know if you can see. Here's the Kirby that I was modeling all of these little donuts after, and here's how they turned out. Wait, this is nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel. Especially this one. This was the first one that we made, and his eye is just dribbling off. These top ones were the last ones I did. Like this one I think is pretty cute. Maybe a little bit. I don't know. Overall, they're not as cute as I thought they would be, but I think you can tell that they're supposed to be Kirby. Let me know in the comments. Can you tell that these are supposed to be Kirby, or do they just look like little demons? In any case, let's get this done with. This was a nightmare to make, and let's do our taste test. We have plenty of ugly ones to spare that I don't really care to save for photographs. Probably just these top ones. Maybe I'll keep like this extra bad one. Or like even this one, look at this. His eyes going off. Okay, taste test, let's go. I wish there was more lemon. I wish it was more sour. I think it's good. Texturally, it's very soft. It's baked. I just wish there was more punch. But it's not bad, not bad. Also, this one had a much thinner glaze than I think these other ones did. I actually want to try one of the ones I did with just lemon juice. I think it's these like darker pink ones. Okay, I'm trying this one. I like the ones that I did that I just pared down the icing to just be lemon juice and powdered sugar. I don't think you need the lemon zest or vanilla extract or anything like that. I think that waters down the flavor of it. Overall, they're not bad. They definitely took a lot more energy and effort than I think they're probably worth. And by that I mean just the decorating part. The flavor themselves, they're okay. Nothing mind-blowing. Again, just really wish there was more pow, more punch to it. But I'm a woman of bold flavors. Wasted a whole Saturday. I had high hopes for this bake and it really let me down, so I'm disappointed with that, but I'm glad I got out of my comfort zone in terms of doing something that required heavy decoration and detail and effort like that. At this point, I haven't had much experience with doing some of these more decorated types of bakes, so I'll definitely do more in the future because, as most people know, practice makes perfect. The amount of effort was not proportionate to how good the results came out, which I'm very disappointed in, as I tend to have a little bit of perfectionism in me, and this is a huge disappointment. But I think they're still kind of cute in their own little demented ways. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like for my suffering going through this. And also leave a comment down below if you think they're actually cute or if you think they're nightmare fuel. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!